the fabulous Kate. She's going to come in, and it's a bit of a workshop today. We're going to find out about writing and doing shows. Yeah, short plays. So, good morning, Kate. You're kind of scooting in there because I didn't have enough music.
I thought you were doing a track.
I was going to do a track, and then I realised I didn't have my finger on the right button.
Oh, well, there you go. We'll sing for you. I'll tell you about a musical. Nick will be in shortly too.
Yes.
We'll talk about writing 10-minute plays, and I must have my specs on for this one, not to look at you.
So, Kate, give us an introduction. Who are you?
Oh, me. All right. And then I'll tell you briefly.
So this is
about
Kate Herbert, and tell us more.
So I won't give you the whole history, but in terms of writing, so I do, as people know from this segment, that I'm a theatre reviewer, but most of my history was in performance and writing and directing. So I've written a number of plays, a lot of plays, many of which have been produced, but I also teach playwriting and have done that on and off over the years. And these last several years, I've been teaching 10-minute plays or short plays. And there used to be, Short and Sweet Festival exists in Australia and now all over the world. It spread from Sydney like a virus to Melbourne. I can't find the details of the Melbourne season. It doesn't seem to be Melbourne anymore. I've written to them. There's a Melbourne cabaret. They do cabaret and dance and theatre, 10-minute plays. They must be.
So it's actually called 10-minute plays?
It's called Short and the ampersand Sweet Festival. Sure. And at the moment, they're advertising the Dubai, the Illawarra and the Hollywood 10-minute play festivals. So I've had a few in what was Melbourne and Sydney, and it went somewhere else at one point, a couple of plays that I put in that were staged. So before I talk about all of that, I will just mention briefly Bread the Musical. It's just think about a musical, and it's about bread. And John Thorne has written it. I've worked with him in the past, and with Ben Grant, and it was in the Fringe. I watched a video of it, but it's coming up at the Red Hill Bakery at Mornington on the 5th of December at 7 p.m, Friday, I think it is. So I just thought I'd mention it, so anyone who wants to go and have a look at a quirky little musical, it's not fully produced, it's just sitting in chairs, singing, and John playing the music, and a narrator telling us what would happen if they had the budget. Things would be made of gold and would fly in, etc.
Down there, hello, Nick here.
Hello.
Good morning, Nick.
Hello. I think they're wonderful, those sorts of things. There's so many opportunities like that in Melbourne where people just put stuff on smell of an oily rag.
Yeah.
Hopefully it gets picked up, but they're great things to go to.
They're fun. You don't need to see all the bells and whistles.
John Thorne, he's a legend in town.
He's a legend, absolutely. I worked with him as an improvising musician. I've just got videos up from decades ago with us doing songs at the Prince Patrick. So we'll get back to please get along to that, get back to writing 10 minutes plays and how to do it. So it's not really I suppose it's sort of a workshop, but I suppose it overlaps for me with not only, my writing, my improvising, and reviewing, because with a narrative-based play, which is what I do when I'm teaching 10-minute playwriting or when I'm writing them, I say to students, they've often done completely, upside down, backwards sort of things in their year 12, and I say, this is a linear narrative. It's story-based, it's character-based. And
so what do you mean by linear narrative? Because this is an issue with fiction as well.
Yeah, chronological order.
No going in between.
No flashbacks, no time changes. Forward, because I say to them, and often they don't understand this, if you want to learn to deconstruct a story, you first need to know how to construct the story.
Like basics with music. You need to know the theory before you go against it. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So I just have some criteria for this, but
What are they?
Anyone who wants to write a play at home, this might help. I do ask myself this when I'm reviewing or looking at students' plays or my own plays. Whose story is it? Am I surprised? Is anyone changed? Whose story is it?
Do you mean anyone in the character or in the audience?
Character is in the context. So I'm looking at 10 minutes writing and redrafting. My criteria for this when I'm teaching it, just to keep it really simple, is to have what I describe, or Aristotle described rather, as unity of time, place and action. So think of a Greek tragedy, they're long. So the unity of time is not necessarily a 10-minute time span, but I'm looking at that sort of thing. Let's not spread it over 10 years and flash back and forward and jump and add characters and have it
10 minutes.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. One action, it's just about one thing. So it's almost like a 10-minute scene, really, even though there might be some, light fades and seconds pass or people turn around and leave a room. And the place remains the same. And I ask them, and I do it myself, to keep it to one set. Nothing needs to be shifted by people in black in a dark space, which drives me mad in big shows anyway. So unity of time, place and action. So it's linear. It goes forward chronologically. It has one idea and one action, one scene really, and one time frame. So there's dialogue and action. I had a terrific one recently. A student wrote this piece. They just performed them recently. Sit in a Victorian ballet theatre cloakroom where a man's cloak disappears. And it's disappeared because the cloaks seem to have some sort of ghost behind them. And a lot of it was action, hilarious physical action, not a lot of dialogue. So I do a lot of work with them talking about, think about this, people. The play is not just the words. The play is what the words do.
Because I can imagine people would want to cram as many words as 10 minutes as they can.
When you're sitting in a room by yourself and you're thinking of writing like novels, etc., it's lots of words. But you don't need lots of words in theatre. I've got the same problem, Nick, the croaky thing. So what we need to think about... Cough button? Don't know where it is.
No, it's all right. We'll keep going. We'll just all cough.
We'll all cough together. Think about the action between the words. And so often I do that by... Well, let me go back to structure. So...
No, I like what you're saying.
All right.
We
So
can go there. The action
between the words.
Yeah.
So I often, in order to teach people to do that, or students, I give them what I describe as a neutral scene with just really banal dialogue that's got no action in it. Hello, how are you? What time is it? Should we go? Oh, it's a bit early. There's a spot on my shirt. Well, we'll get it cleaned. And then I say, now decide who those people are. Then write it with all the action that describes what's going on, that makes us aware that it's those people saying those very words. So they're two terrorists planning a bomb. They're two kids absconding from school. And it's amazing what comes up with
So
just
really
those words.
It out. So they build character and life
narrative
around
this banal dialogue.
Yeah.
So that's an exercise, and I like to have more time to do all that writing exercise beforehand. Sometimes I get them to do writing exercises that are just a relationship. Okay, pick a relationship: grandfather, grandchild, boss and employee, etc., or a scenario. Someone's about to be fired, that sort of thing, and they just write a dialogue and not thinking about anything else. I call it a point of concentration, not just me, a lot of acting, directing people. The point of concentration is what you are focusing on for that exercise. And we can do that as we go through planning and writing. So essentially you're starting with thinking of a concept, and sometimes the concepts are so huge. I had one that had 3 phases of it was like the history of man. I said, that's terrific. It was a Japanese student, beautiful story. I said, but that's a really, really big play.
For 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's like 5 hours. Pick a concept, and if you can put it into a sentence, a grab, and say it to someone, they go, oh, that sounds interesting. I mean, literally that response, then you know you got something.
You've got it. So what's the difference? We'll have to wind up in a sec.
Oh,
what's the difference between, I'm sure you have, between writing just a scene, and this is like between writing a chapter in a story, and actually writing a whole play that's 10 minutes?
Well, it has a beginning, middle and end.
Yes.
And I'll talk about structure, which will help us with that. So a scene... What used to be called, or is called, a French scene, I think it was a Molière thing, that his scenes did have a beginning, middle and end, so you could extract them. They weren't a complete play, but nonetheless, beginning, middle and end. If you think about structure, it's called a Freytag's triangle. Mr. Freytag.
Mr. Friday, yes.
He studied Shakespeare plays and saw that there was a structure that was like a scalene triangle. Think about going up a very steep hill, and then down, a very sloping hill and down a steeper hill. And that's the climax is the peak of that hill, and the denouement, down to the conclusion or resolution, is the going downhill. So it's a long, slow climb. There might be little peaks in there. And think of that, is it the y-axis that goes along the bottom?
Who knows?
And the x goes up? Well, imagine the line that goes along the bottom that you draw with your ruler is the action moving along. And
that's linear.
That's linear, straight ahead.
Yeah.
And the line that goes up the left-hand side of your page is the dramatic tension. So As you get up to the peak and the climax, the dramatic tension rises. So that's why we get the climax at that point. Highest dramatic tension and about 2/3 of the way through the play, or sometimes halfway. Sometimes it just drops straight down and it finishes, drops away completely.
Yeah, but that has a point to. I mean, music, Phillipa, in many ways, that's how you structure music too.
Yeah.
But we never talk about music in terms of we talk about it in melodic terms and how do you analyse it and where the recurring themes and things. But the actual the way music develops as a narrative works very, very similarly.
Yeah, and people get used to a certain way, so their brains just expect.
Yeah, and you look at
to happen.
movies. There's another form that's described as the hero's journey. And it's the writer's journey was written to look at films. And if you look at movies, a hero goes on a journey and meets challenges and comes back with the Holy Grail, etc. Or Luke Skywalker, etc. Movies used it and still use it a lot in the linear story. But I think that's just a sort of taster, really. We haven't talked about dialogue writing or character
we'll
writing.
do that again, yes.
Yeah.
And actually we need to give people some idea about where they can actually do this. It'd be so good for you, wouldn't it?
Yeah, look, there's lots of places that do playwriting, different colleges. Just look it up. Some are short courses, some are longer.
We'll come back with some ideas.
Yeah, we'll have some ideas.
Is there community kind of things available?
I don't know.
Because people, it's quite the thing. And
Or if you know out there, please, this is what we're here for, is to hear from you on Arts Weekly.
On Arts Weekly. And also, engage with us and tell us what you'd like to know as well.
That's a very good idea.
Yeah.
94161035
Or just
email.
yes,
Or just call
email.
Kate.
Yes.
Call
Email.
Kate.
No, don't do that.
No, don't do that.
That's right.
You have been